The latest Silksong patch reshuffled the entire meta. We all have that one needle skill we trust, but after this update, does it still hold up? This patch affected every skill in some way. Some fan favorites fell off, some forgotten ones became monsters. I know this because I tested them all. 6 needle skills, 9 categories, 1 definitive ranking, but only one is the new meta. And it's not Threadstorm anymore. Let's get to it. I judged every skill using 9 stats. Most of them are straightforward: damage, range, safety, ease of use, reliability, and access. But 2 of them are more nuanced. Coverage, not how far it goes, but how much space on the screen it controls. Utility, anything beyond damage. Mobility, crowd control, iframes, buffs, any unique effects. Clean and simple. Now let's break them down, starting with the flashiest skill in the game. Rune Rage is explosive, reckless, and impossible to control. Range easily reaches beyond half of the screen. Coverage, huge AoE. Damage, 76 total, technically first. Speed, 2 seconds to cast, painfully slow. Safety, one of the riskiest skills in the entire game. Utility, good for clustered enemies. Ease, simple to trigger. Reliability, wildly inconsistent due to RNG placement of the rings. And finally, access, mid to late game unlock, behind the first sinner boss in the slab. But power means nothing without precision. That's where cross stitch takes over. Cross stitch is built for perfectionists. Range, long horizontal reach. Coverage, wide and excellent for grouped enemies. Damage, 64 total, respectable for its utility. Speed, 1.2 seconds to cast. Safety, the iframes make it strong. Utility, great for dodging annoying attacks and punishing grouped enemies. Ease, punishing to miss time. Execution matters. Reliability, inconsistent for casual players, but deadly for experts. Access, mid to late game drop from the phantom boss in the mist. But precision isn't enough when the entire arena turns hostile. That's where Threadstorm answers with total control. Threadstorm comes in 2 variants, a normal and an extended version. After the nerfs, the extended cast isn't worth it anymore. It takes too long to perform, only for a slight bump in damage. We will be using the normal version. Threadstorm is power with control. Range, medium. Coverage, 360 AoE around Hornet. Damage, 6-7, still top 3 despite the nerfs. Speed, 1.1 second to cast, among the fastest. Safety, risky up close, but can block projectiles. It evens out. Utility, great for wave fights and crowd control. Ease, intuitive to use, but requires some spatial awareness. Reliability, can still whiff if enemies move mid-cast. Access, obtainable fairly early. Threadstorm rules the crowd, but one skill doesn't need control, it needs accuracy. Pale Nails is surgical, just lethal accuracy. Range, exceptional tracking, and an insane range, one of the best. Coverage, purely single target, built for precision duels, why it gets a low score here. Damage, 63 total, steady and dependable. Speed, 1 second cast time. Safety, extremely safe, thanks to the distance and tracking. Utility, perfect for bosses and focused burst damage. Ease of use, forgiving to use, always accurate. Reliability, consistent and clean every time. Access is the late game unlock, it gives it a low score. But what if precision met consistency? Silkspear is reliability in motion. Range, nearly half of the screen. Coverage, just a straight line horizontally. Damage, 63 total, steady and balanced. Speed, 1 second to cast, among the fastest skills to execute. Safety, excellent long range, keeps you out of danger. Utility, good for damage and decent for grouped enemies. Ease of use, instinctive and simple to use. Reliability, always connects. Access, early unlock and viable from start to finish. Silkspear, the perfect all-rounder that defines consistency. But even balance has a limit. Sharpdart represents what the meta truly values: damage, safety, and control. Range, surprisingly great. Coverage, just a straight line horizontally. Damage 73 total. High burst now that it's buffed. Speed to cast 1 second. Among the fastest to execute. Safety, built-in iframes, almost untouchable. Utility, excellent for movement, dodging, and chaining offense. Ease of use, effortless. Reliability, never misses, never misfires. Access, found early. Sharpdart doesn't shout for attention, but it quietly shows why damage, safety, and control matter so much in real combat. After all the testing, here's how every skill stacks up, ranked purely by total score. Those ties at 2nd and 4th mean the raw list isn't fully definitive, so to settle this, we need a better lens. The answer? A weighted formula. Let me explain. Not every stat matters equally. This is how Silksong actually plays. Moment to moment. We will weigh combat efficiency at 50%. How fast you end fights. That's range, damage, coverage, and speed. Survivability at 40%. How safely you can repeat it through safety, ease, and reliability. And access at 10%. How early you can get it. When we apply those weights, the leaderboard shifts. Rune Rage, beautiful, impractical, and punishing. Cross Stitch thrives under pressure, but lacks consistency for it to be higher. Pale Nails, amazing for bosses, and it shows. Threadstorm still dominates in AoE situations. It just got affected hard by the nerf. Silkspear remains the all-rounder, reliable in every situation. Sharpdart rises to the top, not because of a gimmick, but because it performs everywhere. Efficient in fights, safe in chaos, accessible early. It's not flashy, it's unstoppable. And when you take a step back and look at the final results, you can see how close the top 4 skills really are. They are all powerful. They just shine in different situations. Cross Stitch is the outlier. It's almost there. A small buff and it could stand with the rest. Rune Rage though, that one needs more than a tweak. It needs a full rework in my opinion, or a massive buff. Put it all together and one truth remains clear. Sharpdart isn't just the best. It's the new meta, but that's only part of the story, because when I dug deeper into the numbers, some really interesting things started to show up. If we only look at performance through damage, speed, and range, Sharpdart is the only one with a perfect score, no contest. If we look at consistency and reliability through ease, safety, and reliability, Silkspear, Pale Nails, and Sharpdart all tie with perfect scores. These 3 will never let you down. If we only look at exploration and platforming through safety, speed, and utility, Sharpdart is in a league of its own. It's the only skill with full points, which make it insanely good for movement and survival. Also, Sharpdart was almost perfect. It scored max in nearly every category. The only stat it lost a point in was coverage, since it only hits in a straight line. Threadstorm was also the only skill that didn't get full marks in range. Even though it hits all around Hornet, the actual reach is small compared to the others. So it's wide, but not far compared to the rest. And also, Rune Rage was the only skill to get a 1-star in speed. It takes 2 seconds to cast, and 3 if you wait for the rings. Every other skill around 1 second. This shows how bad Rune Rage needs a buff. Each skill tells a story, some built for precision, others for chaos. That's what makes Silksong combat feel alive and balanced. So which skill defines your playstyle? And what do you think about the ranking itself? Do you think the criteria were fair? Do you agree with the final list? Or would you place things differently? I might do the same thing for the tools next. I'm not exactly sure how I'll approach it yet, but that's actually the fun part. Each one is a challenge, a little mystery you try to solve piece by piece. Drop your pick below and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.